Welcome back. You are tuned in to the CJ Moneyway Show, and today, we are sitting with a leader. She's shaping how wealth is built, protected, and passed on with real intention. LaVaisha Davis is in the building, an industry trailblazer. She's the expert in virtual family offices. A model transforming the game for high net worth families, managing wealth across every generation. She's not selling products, she's restoring alignment. That's right. Helping leaders step fully into their role as the family CEO, where strategy meets stewardship and wealth serve faith, family, and purpose. This is a conversation about ownership. This is responsibility. This is legacy done right.
Hey, what's up, my good people? Welcome to the CJ Moneyway Show. Today's guest, Miss Davis, an industry trailblazer and expert on virtually family offices, VFOs. I'm messing up because I messed up her name just a few minutes ago, and I messed it up terribly, and I feel bad, and so it got me a little tongue-tied right now, everybody. But here she is, a model transforming high network families, build management, and sustain wealth across generations. She's not selling products. She's empowering leaders to step into their role as family CEOs by aligning wealth strategy with faith, family, and purpose. Welcome to the show today, and I'm sorry for the Miss Davis. Hey, how you doing, Miss Davis?
I am doing well, CJ. I'm happy to be here with you. For the record, you did set the disclaimer, so I think it's all fair.
Okay. I thank you for taking the time out your day from your busy schedule and, your baby girls and everything to come on the CJ Moneyway Show. Really appreciate it. So let me ask you, Miss Davis, what exactly is a virtually family office, VFO, and how is it different from traditional wealth management models?
Oh, no, that's a great question. Great way to start. Well, first, let me just kind of tell everyone a little bit more about the particular firm that we do. So I am founder of LS Advisors, and it's a wealth management solution that practices the family office model. So the big question is, what is that? And it has been a strategy to manage all the moving parts of wealth, but it's been practiced by those that have a little bit, a larger amount of assets, usually about 50 million or more in some assets. And they bring a group of professionals in one place to centralize all their efforts. So all the tax planning and investment planning with access to more exclusive investments or philanthropy planning, income planning, everything is all centered in one place, all for the purpose of keeping the family wealth operating, keep it active, keep it growing, and keep it where the family can be self-sustainable from their own resources.
So let me ask you, Ms. Davis, what inspired you to focus your work on helping families operate like businesses when it comes to legacy?
Well, it was a few different things. Throughout my career, I've been fortunate to work alongside other very well gifted and skilled advisors. And it was just a common thread that the families that they were serving, it was just that. Like, oh, wait, everybody that is a client from here all kind of got the same last name. And when you notice the value they put behind their name, you start to follow that practice a little bit deeper. And it was just it was found that this is what has helped keep generations of wealth for so long. Most families that we say just by name through the products that we buy and things like that have been around for multiple generations. And really just what has separated them from everyone else is someone has decided to take the rein by the horns and say, I'm going to lead my family in a different direction with intent. And I'm going to be very specific with how our wealth is managed. So following that, it's like, okay, every family is a business. If you think about it, right? Like all the roles that we have, we're not just mom and dad, we're founder, co-founder, we're CEO, CFO, CIO, executive assistant, administrative assistant, sports and athletic directors. I mean, when we start to name the titles, you realize all the different roles, and we have income, we have expenses, we have assets, we have liabilities. The same rules apply. So through the discovery of that, it's like if everyone had the opportunity to manage their family like a business, it would increase their chances of creating wealth. So that was our whole mission, is to get people to see it that way and offer a service that's usually off limits, but give them more either resource or access to do it for themselves.
Let me ask you, because I've never heard of this before. How big is this operation that you all have?
So when you say that, are you referencing like our firm, or you mean like how big can someone's family office get?
No, just in general, like people talk about general wealth all the time, but there's different ways to, that they do it, whether it's with real estate and things of that nature. But this virtual family office that you created, how big is that? Is this something that you created and you're the only one doing it, or is it something that's abroad in different states?
Oh, yeah. So no, not the creator whatsoever. The family office concept has been around for quite some time.
Okay.
It's coined mostly for the Rockefellers as the initiators for here domestically, like in our country, but it's been practiced in Europe long before them. It can get rather large because they're all custom. When we say family office, it's literally just a group of professionals serving every financial need to a particular family.
Okay.
That's for the wealth side.
Okay.
So it can be custom where they just focus on investments, like, hey, they just manage the investments for my family. Or it could be they just manage our charity and philanthropy giving for our family. Or they just manage all the administration that comes with owning real estate, that comes with owning businesses, that comes with that. Like there are nuances, and then that may be the family office. So it can be very small and specific and niche, or it can be really large where everybody is under one roof. Everybody that you need, your tax professionals, your lawyers, your accountants, your investment advisors, whoever you need is all under one roof. So it can go from very small of a group of 3 up to hundreds of professionals just working the wealth every day.
Oh, okay. So how many people you got working with you? Is everything under one roof?
Yeah. So we're an advisor-led family office service. So we are pretty much like the CEOs of your wealth business. I tell people all the time, you think that you're in the business of the thing that makes you money. Like, I'm a real estate investor or I'm an entrepreneur. That's just what makes you money. But your wealth is a totally separate business. But it needs just as much attention as any other startup or business that you're trying to take to the next level. So if you're not equipped, sometimes it's like, I'm not equipped to be CEO of a wealth business, but I could be the CEO of the business that I've grown all this time. And that's where we come in. So we come in like the additional CEOs that manage the wealth business and bring all the professionals together. And in our firm, it's 7 advisors that lead that.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that, because I never heard of that. But since you say the Rockefellers came up with that, that makes a lot of sense now, because they had a lot of money and they needed a lot of wealth management going on with their family. And that's why it's still, it is what it is today. So let me ask you, how do you begin the process of turning someone into a family CEO?
Well, you can do that one of 3 ways. So I like to describe it as this. Wealth is only going to last if you run it like a business with a CEO or a leader in the front. So when you ask yourself, how do I become that? You have to dig a little bit deeper. First off, can I become that? Can I do it myself? That's kind of how I got here. Because of the other things that led me into this industry was a experience in entrepreneurship as well as tragedy in my family that just highlighted how under-resourced we were, even collectively. Like we didn't have like savings, life insurance, investments, retirements. It wasn't things that we had. So in recognition of that, my action was, okay, I have to go find this stuff out. I have to learn this stuff. And then I learned it, then I got licensed. Then I not only put it into place for my family and then started serving other clients. So that's one thing. Like you could take the whole route, like to become educated, licensed, not only just to serve your family members, but even other people. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, if you know that there's going to be a challenge with that, with becoming it, we have to be honest about maybe we need to create it. And again, I say wealth isn't going to last if it's not led, period. So it's not like you can just ignore that role. So if you can't become it, you can create it. Our children are our future, as we all know, but sometimes we give them too much leeway in their choice for the future. We may ask them what they want to be instead of evaluating our family and what we're missing and what we need. So instead of letting them choose from anything, just generally more of a list. Hey, we don't have anyone with the financial expertise or insight that can lead our family financially. How about we help one of our children become that? So if you can't become it, you can create it. And then the last option is if becoming it is challenging, creating it is challenging, either because your children are already of some substantial age or because of what you do for work just will not permit you to learn a new skill and get new licenses and things like that, then you outsource it. Like what I just described. And now we have these co-CEO roles where you do have someone by your side that knows the ins and outs of this and can help you along the way lead your family with clarity and confidence to make sure the wealth stays around. So those are the ways that somebody can start to become the CEO.
So, I was listening to you and you said you had some things going on and it kind of forced you into looking into this. So let me ask you, before you, got into this and was looking into that, was something that you was doing prior, like the profession that you had prior to that, was it something that you was able to use in the development of learning what you learned throughout the process?
Absolutely. We've been in entrepreneurship for quite some time. My husband was the leader in that aspect because it wasn't even on my radar. So as we started to explore it, we had to go through the learning curve like everyone else. And the road was bumpy. It was hard. It was challenging, just not knowing what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And being the first in your family to try to take those types of risks and leaps and bounds, it gets kind of lonely and isolating. So you're trying to figure these things out on your own. So through that process, it was like, hey, something's not right. Like, we see the money coming in and out. It's not growing. It's like, what are we doing wrong here? So I had to learn the money side. And that was what my focus became. How do I read these balance sheets and income statements? And how do I manage cash flow? Okay, how do I invest it properly? Not just blowing it, calling it an investment. Like, how do I make sure that happens? So that was the experience that made me want to develop further and further and further into this profession. And 12 years later, we're still here.
Yeah. I like that. And, it fits into like my podcast tagline, brick by brick, listening to you. Yeah, brick by brick. People don't know when you're trying to build something brick by brick from, like you say, not knowing what you don't know and trying to learn it. It get lonely at the top. And it was a good thing that you and your husband was in it together, because sometimes if it's just one and then the other spouse is not in it, sometimes they don't understand the amount of things or the things that requires what you're trying to do. And, other family members and friends, they can run away from you because they think you out your mind trying to build something from scratch that don't nobody, but hey, what God has for you is for you. And that's just how I look at it. Brick by brick, we're going to make this thing happen.
That is your slogan. And I think I did get to see that prior because it's a similar motto that we've always lived by. Like, we even have a community kind of centered around that and have just an ongoing theme. That was how my husband painted the vision for me. Like, we're going to have to build this thing brick by brick, one brick at a time. Even if it's a storm comes and knocks that brick away that we just laid yesterday, we got to still keep laying. And having that partnership was probably like the most divine thing that could have ever happened to me personally. And I think even for us collectively is why we've been able to do what we've done in this short amount of time. Like, I'm not saying like we've done like the time, but I think we've had our fair share of experience that without that type of mindset, of that builder mindset, we probably would have gave up a long time ago. So we have a common ground on the brick by brick.
Oh yeah. I mean, like when I first started on my tagline was stories behind success, which it still is, stories behind the success, like people can see you where you are now 12 years later, but they don't know what you went through to get there. And as I started going along and, I'm messing with Chat GPT and things of that nature, it brought that tagline up because it's generating what I'm actually doing. And say, CJ, you building this thing brick by brick because you got the ecosystem, the ecosystem, you know what I'm saying? So it's branching things off because this leading to that and that leading to this. And so it's like you building this brick by brick because you starting from nothing, So I'm not taking the name. I'm just saying that it just fit the mold because that's what a lot of people do. I had a couple the other day. They do 50-50 flip on A&E, Polite, Dietrich and Crystal Polite. And same thing, they built it brick by brick, so it's a current thing, just like you say, you and your husband. And you know what? I'm going to leave after this one, because of how I work. Sometimes I'm not able to go to church, because I work rotating shifts. And so one day after I had this brick by brick motto, came with that concept, whatever. Okay, I'm going to use brick by brick. I went to church. And I guess the weeks prior, pastor had started building bricks in the pew, you know what I'm saying? On where they preach at. And I'm sitting up there, I'm looking like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So I know what it took for them, because it's not all the way up, but it just showed the concept of what it takes to layer bricks on bricks on bricks, just like it is how you layer your company with all these different 7 advisors and all these different aspects of it. It's pretty cool. So let me ask you, why is it important to shift from a financial product mindset to a strategic wealth architect mindset?
Oh, because typically a product is just a short-term solution. Typically, you may buy something or get a financial product because of your need for it now. But when you're thinking of it from an architecture standpoint, if we're talking about building a new home, what blueprint are we following? And where does this product fit into the overall structure? Not just today, not just next week, next month, next year, but the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next generation. Is it really going to have any type of major impact, or is it going to help get us there quicker, more efficient, more strategic? So it have to be able to expand the viewpoint or the vantage point. It kind of gets short-sighted sometimes. And that's what products typically do, because you're like, what can it do for me right now? But most of us are only concerned with right now because there's so much things going on. We're just worried about today. It's a mental shift that once you decide that you are going to be that leader to help your family actually sustain wealth, and whoever you define your family to be, once you decide to take that stance, you're going to have to be able to see further. It's a requirement of leadership. So products, in order to make that discernment, you have to think more architecturally. Where's the blueprint? You got to design the blueprint. You have to build the team that's going to be able to build a skillful team that can pull it together. And if you can't GC it, if you can't be the contractor, if that's going to cause more of a problem than progress, then we need to make an immediate decision on who that contractor needs to be so that the blueprint comes to life in real life.
Yeah, I get it. And I agree with you too. Somebody got to have the vision, to move forward. Somebody got to have the vision. You make me think about Joseph, when he had his dream. Somebody had a dream. You got to see beyond. And that's the thing too. You made a good point. That's the thing too. People only see what's in front of them right now. I can't see. And so your dreams are crazy to them because they can't see beyond where they're at or where you at. Even looking at you, they like, oh, well, you right here. How can you think that you going to get right here? Well, I see bigger than that. I'm not seeing where I'm at, although I'm where I'm at, but I'm looking beyond where I'm at because I'm trying to prepare myself to get to that next level. I've been using the slogan of Ms. Davis that you have to start preparing before you get there.
Oh, for sure.
Or the door open, you already got to start preparing yourself, because when the door open and you're not prepared to go through that door, then you still stuck where you was at, So always you got to look ahead. Whatever you doing, you got to look ahead. And like you say, our families, we got children, so you got to start thinking about them, especially the way things are going in society today. You know what I'm saying? It is a must. It's not optional. It's a must. You have to start putting in the groundwork for generations to come after you. And so I appreciate and I commend you and your husband for taking that step, being the ones for your family to do that. So let me ask you, since we're talking about family, faith, family, and financial strategies, how do you help your clients integrate faith-based values into wealth planning?
That's actually a very easy one to do because, as we all know, you've referenced your own biblical reference in our conversation here just shortly. You see that that's like the go-to when you're trying to figure out the way of life. And there are biblical principles that you can live by that will help you make smarter decisions financially. One that I love, that's one of my favorites, and I'm always afraid to say it in conversation because it never comes out right. Like how you said, tongue twisted. It's supposed to come out. Ecclesiastes.
Nah. See, you can't get off this show today and make me feel bad because I chopped up your name. But I got you. Go ahead.
I can't. I get it. But Ecclesiastes is a book that I multiple wealth building principles in there with the power of investing and diversification. When it comes to the need to leave our children's children with some type of legacy or impact, that's a easy principle to follow. And one principle that can be applied to wealth is when it comes time to build this thing, like counsel is important. When I was sharing that it gets lonely, then people start to stay isolated and they tend to struggle in that isolation because it appears like they should know. And because they don't know, they won't go find the people that should know. And the Bible specifically tells us that where there is counsel, where there is no counsel, the people will fail. But when there's an abundance of counsel, there'll be victory. But many of us don't live by that principle. So it's very easy to incorporate faith-based values into your financial decision-making because of it already being the book of life. So if you're a believer, it makes it a little bit easier. If you're not, then we may be up for a challenge.
Oh, you definitely in for a challenge, you know. What they call it, the separation of state. Yes, it is the separation of men and women. I don't want to hear that. I don't believe God doing this and that. But if you stand, like you say, if you stand on the principles, even as you alluded to earlier about your husband, say, even if this brick get knocked over, we got enough faith that we gonna build it, put this brick back together, and we gonna build on top of that one. And if that one fall, we gonna keep on building because he say that he is with us at all times. If he gave us the vision, even with Joseph, as I was talking about earlier, Ms. Davis, even with Joseph, he went through a lot of stuff to get to what the dream had for him, you know. And I think that I stayed in that book for a long time because it's something for you to see. Bless you. So it's something for you to see in some trials and tribulations, you know, saying you're going to go through things like that. And when you come out on the other side, I believe that it just makes you better if you stand in on that word right there. Well, let me ask you, can you speak to the importance of building a financial legacy that includes emotional and spiritual wealth?
Say the first part for me again. I got the emotional and spiritual wealth, but what was the first part of the question?
The importance of building a financial legacy that includes emotional and spiritual wealth.
That's what I wanted to make sure I heard it correctly, because when we say a financial legacy, I think what people fail to realize is we're all human. And when we talk about family wealth, people automatically discount it because of their own drama or conflict or trauma that they may have experienced with someone that they consider family. So some of those financial resources or that financial legacy goes to creating a safe space that those type of things can be addressed. And when I say safe space, meaning those struggles don't have to be public, like those challenges that you're going to go through emotionally as a human, as you're working with family, as you're trying to navigate new worlds, because some people are going to be making a crossover. They're going to be coming from never experiencing this to creating it to generations that this is all they're accustomed to, like AKA our kids asking for crab boils. Like what? Like they're going to become accustomed to that. So it's the financial legacy and emotional and spiritual support is, hey, sometimes resources are what separates from people having those safe spaces anyway. Like it's really just a matter of having access to those resources. So recognizing the human behavior that's still going to occur is priority number 2. There's one that may be above it, but priority number 2 is providing a space for the emotional and spiritual stability, because this isn't going to come hard easily. There's going to be a lot of battles, challenges, just conflicts, just lost relationships. Sometimes there's hardships to it. It's not going to be easy trying to change the financial trajectory of your family. That is not an easy feat. It's not a road that's often traveled. So you're going to need every emotional and spiritual support you can get. So if you're going through that, just think about those that are going to be coming behind you that's going to go through that as well.
Check out the movement. Family real quick. Lean in. If you're listening to this right now, then you already know the Moneyway ain't just a podcast. It's a movement. So make sure you tap into everything we building. It's a Moneyway moving music. New tracks dropping every week. It's the CJ Moneyway Show. Global ranked, purpose-driven voices. Moneyway mindset. Daily inspiration. Real talk, no fluff. You can find it all right now on Instagram, YouTube, and everywhere you stream. Just search out your Moneyway. That's where purpose lives. That's where the next level starts. And that's where we leveling up. Together. Now let's get back to the show.
I like that. I like that. You will face some challenges when you try to move on, and you just gotta stand firm, and you will. And I agree totally. I know you all probably experienced this because you spoke about it a couple times. I've experienced when you moving out of a comfort zone, not just for yourself but from others. You will lose people along the way, man. And you don't know why. It's like, why you get mad? Because I'm trying to do something, but it's the mindset. And like you said, if I'm not thinking about generational wealth for my family or whatever, and nobody else is thinking about it, then we can kumbaya. But if you're trying to think on another level and not just thinking about yourself and to, where I'm at today, but just trying to think about like maybe, I come to the point, Ms. Davis, that a lot of times I think that some things that I may be doing or that I might do in life, it's not for me. It's not for me. Just like with David, he fought all the battles, but it was Solomon who reaped the benefits, So some things may not be for me to build, but I'm building it for them, or at least, as you said earlier, creating a blueprint. I may not build it all the way, but I can create a blueprint for them to come behind and say, man, you know what? Daddy left this. Let's see what this about. Or as you said earlier too, let me research this, because I may not be able to give them all the knowledge and this and that. But if you lay a blueprint out, then maybe they can follow it. So I'm in total agreement with you. And, and your tongue tiedness, but I like it though. I like it. Ecclesiastic. Man, I'm feeling bad all this interview. Now I do not feel bad at all right now. I feel good right now.
I'm glad I helped you out here.
So let me ask you, Ms. Davis, in your view, what is the role of women in shaping and protecting generational wealth today?
Oh, man. Well, the leaders of it. We are facing the largest wealth transfer in history right now, over like $60 trillion that's expected to change hands over the next 10 years. And in that is a lot of women are expected to receive a large majority of that. So we are going to bear the weight of what to do next. Like, we're going to get to paint the picture of the future. And I'll share with how I learned what that power really means. Like, when we get that, we're already creating it. We're leaders in creating it. We're leaders in starting businesses. We're leaders in education. Like, these things, we're already leading the way in some form. But I don't know if everyone knows the power, that the potential, the things that's kind of building up as it's happening. And how I had to learn it was through the game of chess. Do you play chess, CJ?
Yeah, I play chess. I'm not good at it, but I play it.
Good is a matter of practice and time and strategy. That comes with time, but you know the rules, right?
Yeah. I got my rooks, you know what I'm saying? I got my front line.
Yeah.
King, queen. Yeah.
Back line, but either way, each piece has a specific direction or move that it can make.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to look at each piece, they are all very limited in their movement. They can either move one direction or so many squares or so many spaces. They don't have the freedom or the fluidity to just move however.
Mm-hmm.
And when my husband taught me the game of chess, that's what he was sharing with me. And he taught me the movement of all the pieces, how each piece moved. And he was like, and now this is the king. That's how the king moves. It can only move one square at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's here. But let me show you how the queen can move. You know where the queen can move. And he just showed the queen can move all over the board. So he was very adamant to make me aware of that power, that you are going to be able to do things I can't do, say things I can't say, get in rooms I can't get in. You're going to have way more power than me. So you got to know your power as you move through the board.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are talking about how a role we play, like we play the role, like it looks like we're all in, this might be a little bit of a controversy here, but it looks like we're all moving in the protection of the king.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, like the queen is the one that can go and do anything that needs to be done in the pursuit of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one that really need to be protected. So she's the one that we really need to be protecting on the board. So critical role we play.
That's true, because you're moving the front pieces. And so the front pieces is aligning where she can move around the board to checkmate, or whatnot, and then can come back and guard the king if they get too close to her. Okay, I like it. I get it. But And so I guess my question is this, as you were saying, I was listening to you, because it is, women, as far as money, because I look at my household, my wife, she's in charge of the finances, whatever she do, saying all the things. That's not my field or whatnot. But that's something that she does, and she does a good job. Like, before I got married, Miss Davis, I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't keep a phone for more than a month. When the bill was due, I had a new phone. That's just how I was living when I was young. And so I had the same phone number for 17, 18 years now. I have never experienced that because she takes care of all that. So I get that. But you said something earlier. You said $60 trillion is going to change hands. And so you said the women are going to be getting the bulk of that 60 trillion that's changing hands. So I guess my question is now is like what I was just saying. Are women, like right now, today's women, are they in preparation to be ready for when this wealth transfer comes about?
No. Not unless somebody sat down with them and taught them the game. Like, unless you've had a very good conversation, or if you are fortunate to be surrounded by those that can empower you and equip you. But most of the time, no, because we are leading in all these other areas. Who is taking the time to learn what they need to learn to be prepared to receive? Because people think it's easy to receive. Or if I'm inheriting wealth, or if wealth just comes my way, that's easier than building it. But that actually cannot be true. It's very hard to receive and inherit, because now you've been living through life. Most women have been living through life with how they need to be able to set themselves up financially. What do I need to do to make money? What do I need to do to get financial security? But when you receive an inheritance, it's like, okay, now that that's not the concern, how do I live well? What do I do with it? And now you're trying to learn as you go. And we all know that learning curve can be costly. It's expensive to learn as you go. So in the short answer, no, they're not ready. And the long answer is because we're doing so many different things all at once. But the solution to that is either educating yourself now, like, hey, if I receive, what does that mean for me? What do I need to do with it? Sourcing professionals, vetting professionals. Who do I need to work with? Because I know I have a large sum coming my way, and I don't know how to prepare for that. Like, there's still time to put a solution in place.
I like that, because to me, like what you saying is like equivalent to growing up in a family that didn't know nothing about credit. And now that we're older now, you get older now, you realize how important credit is, but when you in the household, you grew up, we didn't talk about credit. We didn't talk about having a 700-800 credit score and things of that nature. So if you, like you said earlier, I don't know what I don't know. And so, I'm glad that you bringing this on here as far as with women. Maybe, some women can start hearing this and say, you know what, 60 trillion one day going to be changing hands, transferring hands. So I better start preparing, even if it's not for me, but for my daughters to, be able to be in position to carry this mantle and learn how to play the game of chess. Like my man Lonzo say, he say this chess, not checkers.
Is that right? That's right.
And so let me ask you, how can entrepreneurs structure their businesses to align with their personal and generational wealth goals?
Keeping the exit in mind. Keeping the end in mind. Like, entrepreneurs put so much focus into the starting phase of their business, the scaling phase of their business, but have no idea how they're going to convert that into a big payday. It's like they think that their business is going to give them a paycheck forever. And in order to see if that's the case, if that's what you want to happen, there's other steps that need to be involved. So not only how are we going to start this business, what is this business supposed to do for us? What do we want it to do? We are way better off building a business to sell for a large sum of money one day to create generational wealth than we are with just focusing on that one company. Like just one thing, the first thing that we start. So the one thing that entrepreneurs can do to align it, first, identify what those goals are. Ask yourself, am I just worried about personal financial security for me? Like, hey, I just want to retire comfortably. I don't want to be a burden on my children. I don't want to have to ask anybody for everything. I want to take vacations whenever I want to, but that's all that matters to me, which is okay. Or is it like, no, I really want to build value that I can enjoy, but I also it's going to be enough or more than enough left for me to transfer over to the next generation. If that's the case, if that is your goal, then you need to think about how your company is going to achieve that. And most likely it's going to be through a sale. But how can I build a company that can be sold?
And that's a good point too. I just interviewed a guy, Dan Berger, the other day. And as you said, that a lot of people, when they do build a business, and some people, they say you got to learn how to pivot. You got to know when to let it go, or when you build this, and saying it is what it is. But when they do sell it, like this guy, he said he sold his company for $100 million. I said, wow, but he said when he sold it, he had put so much into it that he felt, like, a little lost, whatever. But then he decided, once you had an entrepreneur spirit and things of that nature, you start building other things. So now I can't even explain what he was saying that he had. But I get what you're saying as far as building your company and selling it for $100 million. I hope that one day you and your husband get the company to where it's going to be, sell it for $100 million. And I darn sure hope that CJ Moneyway Entertainment can be sold for $100 million. I would really like that.
We got to do it that way. We can't. We got to create it. And we all have the potential to create it.
Hey. Like I tell people this all the time. I used to say this all the time, Miss Davis. I used to say, people, you always hear people say, well, I want $1 million. Well, what you doing to try to get $1 million? It ain't just gonna fly out the sky. You got to do something to put yourself in position. Not saying that you will, but you got to put yourself in the position to at least try to get what you're saying that you're asking for. And I'm a firm believer that he say, speak those things that are not as if they were. You know what I'm saying? You may not see it, but don't mean that it can't happen. Hey, so let me ask you, I only got 2 more questions for you. Then after that, I'm going to give you a quick fire round. I've been playing this quick fire round on the CJ Moneyway Show. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Think you can do that?
Yeah,
a lot of people get intimidated when they come to that, but you $60 trillion finna come through women's head. I don't think you're intimidated too much, and you know how to play the game of chess. Too many women don't know how to play chess. But what are some warning signs that someone's current financial structure is outdated or risky?
If they can't get to cash as soon as they need it. You need cash in the next 48 hours and you can't get to it, we have some challenges there. There may be some things may be outdated because you might have invested for yesterday, but you're not prepared for today.
So I take it that there's ways that you can prepare for, so when you say that, like you can't get to your money, if you can't get to it in 48 hours, what would prevent you from getting to your money, in that amount of time frame?
It just depends on how you invested. So some people have their investments in things that are not liquid, like real estate. If you need cash from that, it's only one of 2 ways to get it. You either sell the real estate or you leverage it or finance it. Either way, that's a process. So that's not a 48-hour turnaround. So that's what we mean there, where you may, most of it may be in the shares of your company, if most of your value was in your company. If you don't have the cash, and now you have to leverage those shares, that's still a process. Or if you have them in other types of investments, like private equity or other things that are illiquid, you can't get to that cash. And that usually results in premature disposition of investments. You either sell something you didn't really want to sell, but you had to because you needed to get to the cash, or you have to take loans where where the interest rates aren't favorable. It usually results in something that's going to have an impact on your financial structure later, like something like that. So when you can't get to cash quick enough, that's usually a clear indication.
So let me ask you, so are these the type of things that you all teach with your company?
Absolutely. So liquidity planning is important. Like if we have major capital purchases coming up, like we got to start, college is coming, education we got to pay for, weddings we got to pay for, cars or houses we want to buy. Or if there's tax bills coming up, or even opportunities, it's not all bad. Like, hey, I know I want to buy 5 more properties this year. So having the cash when it's time to be able to do that. So liquidity planning is one. The other part to that answer to that question, just asset protection in general. If you created a company and the legal documents 5 years ago, they're probably outdated. If you haven't put your eyes back on them and updated certain provisions and language in it to reflect your situation today, you probably exposed. Like, there's probably some things in there that's not aligned with how you're working today. Heck, if you did it a year ago, it's probably outdated. We have to do annual reviews of those type of things and see if any major adjustments or tweaks need to be made.
And as you said, that is so true, because I just had to do something with my business. You got to update it or I forgot what, but I did it through, you have to do it through the company that the banking thing that I formed my company through. So they able to, if it came to me, CJ Moneyway Entertainment wouldn't be CJ Moneyway Entertainment because I have no idea, like you said earlier, you pass things along that to people that know what they're doing because I have no clue when y'all come asking me these questions. I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. And so with that being said, where can we find you on social media? Where can we find your company or your web channel? Let us know.
Absolutely. So social media is easy. Everything is just under my name. At least I try to keep it easy for everyone. So it's just under LaVaisha Davis. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. That's LinkedIn. Everything is under my name there. You can also join a part of our community. You just go to mywealthandlegacy.com, and that's how you can become a member of our family CEO circle, where there are other like-minded individuals that are taking this journey to become their own family CEOs and lead their wealth with intent, with purpose, so that they can ensure that their financial stability is not only for themselves, but for those that they love. So that is under my name for all social media, mywealthandlegacy.com for our community. And I'll even share a link with you, CJ, that you can keep posted that people can click on at any time to connect.
Okay, that'd be cool. Just for the say, I'll chop it up again. Mm-hmm. So I thought I had it when I did. Now I'm finna be like Ecclesiastic. So first, quick fire round. First money lesson you ever learned?
First money lesson I ever learned is don't spend money, even though it's kind of like don't count money till it hit the bank. Don't count money till it hits the bank. I don't care if they said it's coming, it's on the way. You close the deal. If you sold something, if the money's not in the bank yet, you don't have it.
Don't be like Martin on the Martin show when they thought they won the lottery and then it wound up being the biggest lottery win of all time. He out there buying him Cole, Tommy cars and buying Gina Furs and everything. Don't do that until you actually see the dough in the bank. Yes. You will get embarrassed. Favorite faith-based quote or scripture about abundance?
About abundance particularly. I don't have a favorite one about abundance particularly, at least not a scripture that I can quote. And I never want to misquote that, but I do believe that abundance is our birthright. That is something that we believe, that I personally believe we were not placed here to be in scarcity or in lack of. We are abundantly supposed to be experiencing everything that's here in all of its glory.
I like that. But if I had to say it, because of course this is my first time seeing that question too. What did he say? He say that he came to give life and give life more abundantly. As you were saying, that is, he came to give us life more abundantly.
I like that one. I might use that one in the future next time.
Now don't screw it up. Now don't tie it up. Now don't do that, Miss Davis. And so one financial myth you wish would disappear forever.
There's a lot of those. Just one?
There's one.
One financial myth that I wish would just disappear.
Just go away and don't come back no more.
That debt is bad. All debt is not bad. In fact, debt is the key to building wealth. So I hate the notion or the concept or the idea that sometimes people get and now they build this fear of debt. So all debt is not bad. It just needs to be used properly.
Charles Noah, I messed his name up too, came on a few weeks. Matter of fact, I just put an episode out on too long ago. And I haven't heard too many people say what you just said and what he said. He said that the United States was built off of debt.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you said, debt is not a bad thing. He say that's where they get their wealth from debt. And look at what we at now. We just hit a record high, the other day, 37 trillion in debt, but still fully operating. And, ain't no telling what's going on. But anyway, most underrated wealth building habit that you have?
By building cash value life insurance policies.
Life insurance policies. I heard that before too.
Permanent cash value life insurance and not looking at that like an expense, but looking at it as a banking strategy for yourself. And us doing that for a decade has paid off tremendously.
You say cash value life insurance, right?
Absolutely.
Look into that. So, last question. I'm going to let you go about your way. Really appreciate you coming on today. Legacy goal that drives everything you do.
Ooh, these babies. I mean, everything that I do is in pursuit to let them know what they're capable of. I'm raising 4 daughters. And our particular mission is to build wealth that can provide them with the resources they need to pursue happiness, their career, like what they want to do to contribute back to wealth. We hate that we have to force certain things on them because our family was missing certain components, but we want to be able to set them up where their children now has a little bit more freedom and choice. Just a little bit. Like, it's not too much now, but just a little bit more than they have because of us building this thing from scratch.
Train up a child. Train them up, and they won't depart from it. Ms. Davis, wealth architect, visionary, and the woman helping leaders become the CEO of their legacy. Make sure to follow her journey. Grab her wealth building insights and start putting your family legacy in motion today. You have been listening to the CJ Moneyway Show with my girl, Miss Davis. Until next time, keep building brick by brick, as me and her talked about. That's our motto. Keep building brick by brick. Until next time, we out of here. Peace.
Before you go, let me leave you with this. Every story shared here, it's a reminder that your story matters too. Keep your faith sharp, keep your focus steady, keep your vision clear. And if this episode gave you wisdom, hope, or a push forward, share it with somebody you love. Tap in with me on all platforms, Edge Moneyway, and stay locked into the movement, because God's not done writing your chapter. This is the CJ Moneyway Show. Brick by brick, and always Moneyway.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.
What separates dreamers from industry leaders? Your Brand Amplified uncovers the answer. I'm your host, Annika Jackson, and I have authentic, in-depth conversations with proven entrepreneurs and business experts. Some sharing the exact strategies that grew their brands, others revealing the personal stories behind their success. From digital marketing tactics to mindset shifts that change everything. They're real conversations that bridge aspiration and achievement. Find Your Brand Amplified on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.